Very special artist by the name of Hozier. So I'm delighted to have in studio. Hello.
Hey, how's it going?
How are you doing?
Very well.
I thought I'd kick off the hour with that song by Medusa because I think that was the last release since your new release that we're going to play in a second.
Yeah.
And it was a departure for you.
Yeah, it was a departure. Yeah, it was a departure. It was kind of just a feature on the Medusa guys track. It was a lot of fun though too. It was a lot of fun. I did release a little song there before Christmas, a bit more on the folkier side of things. When was that? November, December. A song called "Swan Upon Leda."
Yes.
But that was the last sort of, certainly. Yeah, like that was a big. It was a good song for, you know what I mean. It was
like it brought you to raves, Hozier, when you think about it.
Yeah, I was in the raves already. That's the secret. That's where they found me. I'm only kidding. But no, totally. Yeah, it was a different energy. I loved it. I really enjoyed it.
The new single we're going to talk about in just a few moments' time. We love it here on 2FM. But where were you during lockdown? So is this whole new album that's coming soon? Is this a lockdown project for you?
Somewhat. I mean, some of the songs were written during lockdown, early in 2020, mid 2020, and then some were written as late as 2022. You know, so I think on this EP, two of those songs certainly were kind of, I wrote them at some point in 2022. The third song in the EP was early in the lockdown type vibe.
Okay.
Yeah.
When you're talking about songs on the EP, you keep talking about circles. Yeah. And I want to know about this because obviously this is like Dante's Inferno,
right? And
it's the poem and it's all the different circles,
right?
So Eat Your Young is a circle. What circle is this?
So Eat Your Young it's circle, I think it's circle 3, which is gluttony.
Okay, so we're going there.
Sense.
That's what you're doing. Eat Your Young, gluttony.
Gluttony.
So tell us about that. What is it? Are you going through all of the 9 circles?
It just seemed like a fun way to structure the album. And Inferno, not that you don't have to read the poem.
Phew!
It's an absolute slog at times. But it's a journey, you know, and it's a walk through into something and out the other side. And I suppose I wanted to sort of credit the album as something of a journey without doing like a lockdown album or a pandemic album. I think we all walked the path into something and out of something, and something changed, you know what I mean? And whether you chose to sort of change something for yourself, I think we all, you know, rearranged something in our lives to fit that new context and kind of came out the other side ever so slightly different, or either having lost something or having changed something. I think so. I just it felt like a fun way to structure an album and nod to that and sort of like name that without it being like here's my lockdown album, you know what I mean, if that makes sense.
The album, it's forthcoming. It's called Unreal Unearthed. And the EP, will those singles be on that album? Is this like a little teaser and taster for Hozier fans?
A little bit, yeah, totally. And it's going to be quite a big album. Just to make sure, I think 2 of these songs they're 2 circles from the whole album, but it's making sure that there's an extra, you know, there's an album's worth of material people won't have heard by the time the actual record's out, you know?
Okay, yeah. 2013, Take Me to Church was released.
Yeah.
So it's coming up to 10 years. It is 10 years.
Shocking.
That's mad.
Where'd that go?
I know. It's just gone diamond in the US. I'm working in radio. I've never heard a song going diamond before.
It's cool. I think there's 100 and something songs in history that have done it. So it's a good feeling in that. So it's like, you know, there's 102, 103 songs, something like that have gotten to that status. So it's a nice club to be part of. But yeah, it's a good feeling. It's, you know,
a nice club to be part of, and also the 2 billion streams on Spotify as well, which is absolutely phenomenal achievement.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you.
How do you feel about that song 10 years later?
You know what? I still have a lot of love for it, and I think I think if any of my songs, that was a real crossover hit where, you know, it was the first song I ever released, so that was daunting, and there was a lot of catching up to do. But if any of my songs was going to be one that became as widely listened to as that, I'm pretty proud it was that song. You know.
The video, the controversy behind it. When you think about that song and what the subject matter was 10 years ago, and then you bring it forward like to 2023.
Yeah.
Do you think the world has changed?
I think that song and video is a little bit more applicable now, sadly, than it was then.
Isn't that crazy to think of in that sense?
Yeah. Yeah,
I know.
And I think at the time I was asked a lot. I was like, why make it about this or focus on this? This is happening elsewhere in the world. And my reasoning was that, look, we culturally we sort of live in a borderless world. It's only a matter of time before that sort of crosses over and to where we are here. And look, 10 years later, it's kind of, what's going on in America, what's going on over here. Yeah, it's real. Yeah.
Bringing us back then, obviously we said 2013. As a musician, the world has changed around you as well. Social media, TikTok, they've got like a little glimpse of your new single, Eat Your Young. There was a little snippet of it there recently on TikTok, and your fans went absolutely wild.
Right.
You on TikTok and letting fans into your world, or them just taking their songs or your songs and making it their own. How do you feel about that social media world compared to where it was in 2013?
I think I'm a bit late to the TikTok game. I feel that, also, like, age-wise, I don't know. I think it takes me a bit of a moment. I'm not that active on TikTok, but I think what's nice about it is that to release something and other people let it be part of their day-to-day, in their moments, to make little memories with it, to make little expressions of themselves with it. That's a really lovely thing. And so to see that en masse is great. You know what I mean? It's really lovely.
Another thing I wanted to ask you was about your release of your EP on St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah.
That you did that in New York.
New York, yeah.
So it was also your birthday. Mm-hmm. So was that a plan, just to have a birthday sort of knees up and just, release an EP at the same time? So what came first, the EP or the birthday shenanigans in New York?
The EP comes first. That's the work side of things. So we work hard, but we did play hard, thankfully, that evening. For sure. We closed the place out. But what was I going to say? Yeah. So you release something, and release day is always intense. I think we did about 7 hours of chatting, and then it was and promo and stuff. Then just headed to a place called Paddy Riley's in Midtown, this Irish pub, and popped in, surprised a few people, played a few songs, and then by the end of that night, I had a few beers.
God, well, happy birthday!
To the
happy
release.
birthday for Patrick's Day.
Thank you.
We asked a couple of people on Instagram last night, on our 2FM Instagram, to ask you a couple of questions. Now, I have to say, a lot of people wanted you to marry them.
Okay.
There was a lot of marriage proposals there yesterday, so I'm not going to fill through those.
Okay.
Denise Chyla also texted to say that she absolutely loves you too.
Oh my
She wanted
God.
to pass on her love.
I met Denise I met Denise very recently for the first time in LA, so I'm sending all the love to Denise. We met in where were we? We were in some bar in LA, and it was a real Irish little contingent. Anamika, this incredible a folk artist, was there also. Just finished up a tour, and I had a great chat with Denise for the first time. I was very glad to connect with her. So
she'll probably kill me now for passing on that message,
well,
but still,
here it is live.
Use your friends already, so that's good. We have a couple of questions though that were sent in on WhatsApp today. Ronan has a question for you, so if you have your headphones on, take a listen to this.
Hi Hozier, Ronan here. Big fan of the work you did with the Cry Power podcast. I was just wondering, do you have any plans to record any more sessions?
That was a great podcast. You had Annie Lennox on, Bono, Michael D.
Michael D. Higgins. That was an amazing chat. At the moment, I don't have any plans. I would love to, not to say that I wouldn't again in the future, I'd love to set my time aside to really concentrate on it if I was to do it again. I think doing it in the middle of a tour or releasing music at the same time, they're chats that I'd love to do research to do, they require research, and I'd love to sit with the structure of what that would be. But it was really insightful. It was really some of the, those conversations I always left really uplifted and really enlightened and really, but yeah, thank you so much for that, because it's but yeah, so it's all up there still. Some of those chats, I was really honoured to be joined by those guests, and Global Citizen were a big part of facilitating that. It's a really wonderful organisation. But look, never say never, but for the moment, there's nothing in the pipe work, but we'll see.
You're busy touring the new album, and obviously going on tour and playing Malahide Castle, which is sold out as well. You did an episode of This Is Pop on Spotify, it was on Netflix about This Is Pop music.
Yes.
Sorry, I was thinking about a different thing altogether. And you were saying that your songs are political pop songs. So when you're doing a podcast like that cry power. How important do you think it is for a musician like yourself to be political and to talk about things that are affecting the world?
Yeah, so this is the difficult one. Is like, to me, you can't make everything has a political dimension to it. Like I encourage people not to think of politics as something that happens with a suit and a tie behind a government building, or it's something, it's that party politics, and and I think a lot of the jargon of party politics, and it locks people out from realizing like our lived everyday experience is a political experience. You know what I mean? That everything are the challenges that you face, and that's literally, like, that's the rent that you have to pay or whatever it is. Those are all political elements of life. These are all like political challenges. So for me, you can't create art. Art always has a political dimension to it. And even if it's a song about going out and having a good time and having a dance, that's a political experience. Like there's politics in your experience of going out and having a good time or a bad time or whatever it is that you do.
Or not in Ireland when you can't go out because there's no clubs, because that's a political experience because the clubs are being closed down.
That's 100%. So that's sort of like the We Own the Night, or like that's you could say, oh, that's politically motivated. Of course it is. It's because people are experiencing, okay, where is our club scene gone? Or I can't afford to go out and enjoy a club scene, and that's also a political experience. Like that's a political challenge, a political struggle. So to me, you can't make music that, and it always has this dimension of politics to it. So it's not that I aim to quote unquote get political or anything like that, but it's just being aware. Every piece of music, any piece of art, reflects upon the time that it witnesses, the time that it lives in. And in that, there is a dimension of just bearing witness to, you bear witness to what's around you, and there's dimensions of that are political, and that's all I mean by that.
No, it's great. Explained very well, Hozier. Thank you. I've got another 2 questions here. This is from Sinead.
Hello.
My question is, do you have any advice for aspiring musicians? Thank you.
It was a WhatsApp voice note. I should have told you that.
No,
actually.
It's okay. I was like, how are you, Sinead? Yes, no, perfect. Any advice for aspiring musicians? I just took time and as best as I could. I just knew that there was something I wanted to achieve with whatever it was in my early days. I knew I had songs in me. I didn't know what they sounded like yet. I knew that there was something I had to get out of me with regards, and that's always the same with any song. But I would just say, sit with yourself and take time to reflect upon what it is that you want to do. And even I learned a lot of covers when I was really starting off. It's like learning the songs that you love, and then you gain an understanding of how people write songs by learning how to play songs, and then through that, I guess it's I would say just take your time, and also don't be in a hurry to release or throw out into the world the first thing that you make. Allow yourself to just know that, like, no matter what, as long as you can keep cultivating the space and the creative space and a relationship with yourself where you allow yourself to create, you're always going to keep making. And it doesn't need to be your first thing that you write. It doesn't need to be the second thing that you write. Wait until you are absolutely sure that you want to put it out into the world. Because the one scary thing I find about being a musician is that there's a permanence to what you release. So I don't want to frighten you, but just take your time with it. Know that it's, until you're proud of it, and that it's something that you really believe in. And yeah, just trust yourself. Trust your gut always,
You're being so kind with your words there and with your advice to Sinead, that I feel really bad playing this next question, because this is obviously, with the marriage proposals that were coming in Instagram, this was the second highest question. You ready for this?
Okay.
On WhatsApp as well. This is Claire.
I don't know if I'm
Hi,
ready.
Hozier. It's Claire here. I'm a huge fan. Love your music. Also love your hair. I would love to know what your routine is. What are you using? Any tips you have, please?
Okay.
Did you expect that one to come in?
I did. I wasn't. In a moment of
Because there was a lot of them.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm just lucky, I guess. I don't do anything with my hair. I don't wash it all that
The
often.
fact that you say that really annoys me, because like my hair wrecks my head,
Yeah.
and you're just coming in here now looking fabulous. You're like, well, I don't really do much, and I just wash it and go.
I kind of just wash. Do they still have that product, Wash and Go?
I don't think so, but you are the embodiment of it. Maybe you can get some sort of deal.
I'm going to restart Wash and Go. I don't wash it all that often. It's like, I try, because it's always that first day you wash something. My hair does fluff up and get crazy and stuff like that. I threaten every few weeks. I threaten to shave the thing off because it's annoying.
So do I.
Yeah. I think I might do it at some point. I just wash it and I just let it dry.
Naturally,
yeah.
Claire, I hope that answered your questions, and everybody else that actually text into Instagram too. Hozier, we are loving the brand new single. We're so excited to see you play Malahide Castle and the INEC in Killarney this year. The album is on the way. Unreal, Unearth. We're going to play, which is this circle again now? Eat Your Young is what circle?
Eat Your Young is circle 3, Gluttony.
Circle 3, Gluttony.
Yeah.
And that's why it's called Eat Your Young. Hozier, it's been a pleasure to have you in studio in 2FM again. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.